Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Woodpeckers Deep Dive. My name is Jeff Farris. Welcome to my shop. Today, we're going to take a closer look at this little device in my shirt pocket, Woodpecker's latest one-time tool, the adjustable setup block. All right, let's get started. To start things off, let's go over the mechanics of the adjustable setup block and how it works. There are three controls on this. The quick adjust that lets you get in rough position. Then we have the micro adjust that lets you dial in your precise position. And then we have the locking knob that keeps it there once you get where you want to go. So we have two scales on here. One says top and one says bottom. So if I want to set this for 1 inch from the surface of the workbench to the top of that plate, I'm going to just take my unlock it, and take my micro adjust and dial that in to 1 inch and then lock it. Now I'm 1 inch from the table to the top of that plate. On the bottom side, it's doing exactly the opposite. If I want it 1 inch to the bottom of the plate, well, I got to go a little bit further up. I have to go 1/8 of an inch higher, right? Because our reference plate is exactly 1/8 of an inch deep. So we're going to come up here to 1/8 of an inch, micro adjust it until I'm splitting the line, lock it, and now it's 1 inch from the table to the bottom of the plate. I'll show you in a few minutes why we want each of those measurements. Now, my favorite feature of the adjustable setup block is the way the angle of the device and the scale work together. It makes very, very small fractions a lot easier on old eyes. So the beautiful thing about the way this works with the incline is that the marks are 2.5 times further apart than they are on a flat scale. In other words, if I adjust this down from 1 inch to 1 inch and 1/64, okay, that is a 1/64 change in this dimension, but on the scale, that's over a 32nd of an inch. So every mark on this scale is a 1/64 of an inch. But as you can see, when we put a regular scale on there, they're much, much further apart than the 1/64 inch marks on the scale. Now, the reason that it works that way is because of the ramp design. Because the car has to travel down the track by 2.5 times the distance to move this bar by a 1/64 of an inch. So that's why these marks are 2.6 times wider than a 1/64 of an inch. Makes it so much easier to read. Now let's go into some of the machines in my shop. We're going to do a couple of setups so that you can see real-world examples of the difference between the top of the reference plate and the bottom of the reference plate. So I want to set this up so that my drill bit leaves 3/8 of an inch of material below the cut. So we're going to adjust to the scale to the top to 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to bring the drill press down until the bit just kisses the setup block. Then we'll lock it and set our stop. Now over here at the table saw, we're going to use the bottom setting of this. Let's say that we want to cut a groove exactly 3/4 of an inch deep. Now we'll dial it in for a perfect fit, get that exactly splitting our mark, and lock it. Now we'll bring that to the table saw, and we have a nice wide surface that will cover us for top dead center. Then we'll just bring the blade up until it just touches. Do want to mention one more thing. For those of you who like to work in metric instead of inches, we have the adjustable setup block in metric as well. And it doesn't hurt that we made both of them really attractive tools. The engine turning on the side plates really adds a dash of panache to this tool. Hey folks, thanks so much for watching today. If you would like to learn more about the product, there's a link right below that will take you to the webpage on the adjustable setup blocks. If you enjoyed the show, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know about every one of our great videos right when they come out. And if you'd like to see the product video about the adjustable setup block, there's a link right there that'll take you to that video next. Thanks so much for watching today. We'll see you next time on Deep Dive.